Didn't you learn last time I have my heart attack button?
Ha! Not this time. We took our anti-heart attack meds before coming here.
Oh, well in that case, how about this? We're back with another OP mod list, giving you a whole supply of mods that will break the game like Bane breaks Bat's back. Seriously, do not download these mods if you want balance for the rest of us who enjoy a good power fantasy. Sit back, relax, and let me know what are some of your favorite OP mods. Oh, and keep in mind, there are plenty of mods we won't mention, usually because people already know them, or we've already mentioned them a few too many times. This list will have some repeats though, but we aim for trying to find some less knowns. With that, let's start from the beginning with a well-known. Well, close enough. But I'd be remiss not to mention GlitterTech, the original OP mod that people would measure against, at least until a certain gentleman shows up. So yeah, this is one where you will be constructing a lot of materials over and over again to make small bits of material to make the OP weapons. It does show its age just a bit, but I can't help but get nostalgic hearing that assault rifle's iconic sound as I gun down my annoying neighbors out on the rim. Of course, keep in mind that assessing this tech will alert those with it, and they don't want to share. Don't blame them, so good luck. Insert sponsorship here before moving on to number 2 cargo holds. Look! My Rimworld colony is currently on fire, my best builder is missing a leg, and somehow I'm the stable one here. So, before Randy throws another tantrum our way, let me show you the only thing keeping me sane lately. A strategy RPG I've been grinding on PC and mobile during colonist mental breaks. And now is the best time to join, because you can grab a free, epic, or legendary champion just for starting with my link. I wish I had gotten these heroes when I started. It makes the early grind so much easier. If you play smart, push through the campaign straight into dungeons, then bully that clan boss and wreck people in the arena, you'll blast through the ranks way faster than I did. What keeps me hooked is that it scratches that same Rimworld brain itch, building a squad, praying for good RNG, and screaming when it all goes horribly wrong. Except here, it's wrapped in AAA graphics and the PvE mode is actually insanely deep. Now, I've got a soft spot for the Sylvian Watchers faction. These lunatics refuse to live in normal houses. Instead, they live deep in the Mistwood where literally everything wants to poison, stab, or strangle you with vines. Their only civilized spot is the city of Nursa, where they've formed the Nursan Union alliance with the Shadowkin and dwarves after surviving a bunch of shared disasters. Their champions? Absolute lunatics. Some have mushrooms growing out of their skulls, others are walking flammable trees with anger issues. My favorite right now? Archotech, a fire-slinging ant who punches like a freight train. Elva Autumnborn, the healer I pray I could recruit in Rimworld. King Galkabar, toxic tank lord, perfect for dungeon runs. I also wanted to mention you can get 2 epic champions through our link below or the QR code on screen. Epic champion Killian the Shrike from the start, plus after reaching level 15, epic Richter Draft. It helps support this disaster of a colony and gives me a fighting chance against the next Mechanoid invasion.
New players are also able to pick from one of the 6 promo codes on screen and unlock an additional legendary champion.
Now let's go back to watching everyone starve to death in style. From the past to the future, built for those of us who are exploring the rim in style. On the grav ship, we got the cargo holds. Now, you might look at this and realize why it's overpowered. The combination of A, space used well, and B, any mods that increase stack size. Combo those 2 and you've got plenty of storage space for any ship on the go, or just in any base that's not on the ground. I, for one, love this. Looks good, makes sense, and all around, my writer is grateful for the ability to just drop stuff into a hole he can just find everything in. Another good thing for the floors, the automatic hydroponics. This one looks sick and is really good, not only for the ship, but normal bases. Just install, power, and reap the rewards of automatic growing and harvesting of all your basic crops. Okay, maybe you need actual growing for some crops like devil strand and corn, but hey, I can have all the rice I'll ever need for the crew. Again, automatic, this is why it's pretty overpowered. Hydroponics are balanced by the power use and they need to have them tended to, but there it's hydroponic sun lamp and harvester all in one. Still gonna use this though. It's too good not to use in any grav ship. Just a few in operation and you will have all the rice, your root cloth, and your smokable of choice your pawns will ever need. Of course, why bother with cooking all that rice you get? How about turning it all into 5-star meals at the push of a button? That's right, we are going into Star Trek technology.
500 cigarettes.
Okay, maybe Orville and his some playthroughs given the people out on the rim. But yeah, the Replicant mod. It's a famous overpowered mod for basically being the upgrade to the nutrient paste dispenser. Just load up all your nutrient material in the replicator, which can be anything with a nutrient value in it. Yes, that includes long pork. I know what's in your kitchen. And just make sure the tanks are full and the replicator's attached to a power line. Pawns will go up, get some food, and be happy. Though maybe a bit bored by the same lavish meals, that's why there's a bonus to this. Replicant meals, which provides multiple real-world food for pawns to pull out and enjoy. Personally, I'm a bit jealous. But hey, where I'm at, I can enjoy all the noodles and rice I want. Though, from the same mod author comes the sister mod, the Med Pod, a super overpowered bit of kit you will be glad to have in any base. Just to lay a pawn down on them and watch all their problems go away. Addiction's gone, lost limbs regrown, that marriage. It's a tool of science, not a miracle worker, so no. Absolutely a great mod for the endgame where you can load pawns out on all the hard stuff for a fight and then afterwards tend to their wounds and addictions after, though only caveat is the power drain, but with this mod list, power won't be an issue, so don't you worry. Another classic involving medical mayhem is the always medical money-making harvest organs post-mortem, a mod that will end all money woes with all the organs you will be harvesting from the many, many dead bodies coming your way. Though keep in mind, the more organs you have, the more value your base has, and the more value the base has, well, those neighbors sure got hostile. Good thing this trains medical skill. You might need it with all the fighting you will be doing. For more medical malpractice, try the Inject Genes mod. It might not seem like an overpowered mod, however, given you can put into the mod options to have all genes injected become germline genes, suddenly those really good genes you collect can become spread about. Plus, it's a pretty cool low-tech way to get involved with the biotech DLC. Have a tribe go and find gene packs in ruins and just inject themselves. Become real freaks like cult of gene takers. This also doesn't erase xenotypes, unlike injecting full genomes into someone, so you can use this mod to improve already good xenotypes without erasing them. Plus, you don't have to get archite genes to actually insert archo level genes into a pawn. However, there is a way to really make this broken. If you have the gene pack reprocessor, you have the ability to duplicate, split, and merge genes in gene packs. Ever find that really good gene pack in ruins, but it has that one gene that completely ruins everything? Well, split it off. Then duplicate it and later inject it into your pawns. All easy and all fun. And seriously, trying for a run where you collect different genes to create the ultimate gene pack to duplicate and replicate into your pawns can be a lot of fun. Though the ultimate gene for your pawns to inject into themselves is the Godlike metabolism gene. Seriously, if you plan to go full gene stealer, having the ability to actually live without needing a cheeseburger every 5 minutes might help in the long run. The metabolic efficiency will help all xenotypes, natural or otherwise. Want a top tier xenotype? The Archotech genetics has it there for you. You won't be finding any pawns with this xenotype. No, you need to find the Archotech bio unit. This will change any pawn who activates them into the Archotech xenotype. And boy howdy, you will love this one. Super fast, strong, durable, psychically powerful and beautiful, this is your go-to pawn for any role in the colony. So where do you find bio units? Well, you might get lucky and one will drop out of the sky, but you will most likely need to find them in ruins as loot, so get hunting and go into space to spread more of your Archo goodness. If you want a more natural, powerful xenotype, Natural Gifts provides you with a Psi Master xenotype, a being born with powerful ki energy, translating to one of your best psychers out on the rim. I like the Asian Wuxia. My bad. I like the Asian Wushu. Yes, that's probably more accurate. Inspired xenotype, and while overpowered, it's not completely insane. Find these gifts as genes or figure out how to rise from simple-minded to galaxy brain creatures of death. Very good. Very good indeed. Other ways to break the game is to increase the stack size of your items. While my writer Bren likes to use Ogre Stack, there are multiple mods that do the same idea. Increase how much you can carry in a limited space. Use as you will. Just remember, the more stuff you have, the more raiders you get. Unless that's your plan for big orders of long pulled pork sandwiches. Looking for one of the most evil war crimes in all of Rimworld? Mechanite plague. Yes. Seriously, this is the stuff of nightmares are made of. Yes, imagine this. A little Mechanite spider. It nips you. No problem. It doesn't hurt that much, at least. Just a bandage and it's fine. 5 hours later, you are dead. And a bunch of bursters are singing Hello My Baby while hitting your buddies again. Yeah, that's the nightmare of Mechanite plague. And if the weapons and mechs you can make was the only thing this provided, I'd consider it a pretty above average to low tier overpowered mod. No, it's when you combo it with vanilla Psycast Extended. You get an entire tree to use the plague, from raising a bunch of bursters from corpses, a big cloud of nanites to spread the bursters, to even summoning scythers right from the Aether, and the final ritual to become a Mecha Lich, gaining more durability, Psycasting potential, oh yeah, don't have to eat and sleep. Extremely powerful. Get a couple of Mech Lich casters in a colony and you can unleash hell on incoming raiders and keep it up. Plus, you can use all the canisters you make from all those bursters you deconstruct and turn them into Luciferium. A nice little bonus there. On that subject, Luciferium is a great drug, albeit one with an extremely high cost. It gets its name from the devil's bargain for a reason. But rather than using it on your pawns, why not refine it? The Mechanite Forge allows you to utilize Luciferium's nanites into more refined and powerful drugs, ones that can improve all stats, but the greatest ones are the Seraphium and Troll Blood. If a pawn has both, then they can effectively be an Achilles on the battlefield, but without that infamous heal. Seraphim lets you regenerate any lost limbs. It's painful, yes, but being disarmed won't be a challenge, while Troll Blood heals wounds quickly, sealing and healing wounds fresh and old. You can also take Bastion as a bonus, creating a personal shield that you can shoot out of. Not as strong as normal shield belts, but it's a great support tool. All three of these are permanent when taken. Herculeum and Pithelium, meanwhile, are temporarily enhanced versions of the sensory and fibrous Mechanites, giving enhanced buffs without the downsides. Plus, if you take them after having the normal variants, they get cured as a bonus. Very useful, bit broken, but hey, that's the Rim baby. Also, the Rim baby is questing. You want some good loot, gotta work for it. Or you can just buy it with the Bible Quest Rewards mod. This really is broken. Like so much so, it's not even funny. Stuff that would be gated through luck and questing is now found in someone's shop. So collect them anti-grain warheads and revive syrups. You are gonna have a crazy time later. Now, of course, if you want some proper immortality, look no further than the Celestial mod. Comes in regular and gene flavored. With this, you gain super regeneration, and in the event of an untimely passing, provided the body isn't being messed with, they will come back to life. Maybe a bit annoyed by their good clothing torn up, a fun, easy to use mod that yes, you can use for war crimes. Get a Celestial pawn, imprison them, and harvest their organs that will regrow or let them come back to life and imprison them again. Tweak the options for how often people can be Celestials to even how they become back, cause having them come back in a huge electrical storm, not exactly grid friendly. The next one is simply overkill. A godlike trait provides a cheaty god trait, and oh boy, the stat boost it gives. When just 20 in all stats is the least overpowered thing it has, you know this is the game breaker. It really is. The worst part, pretty sure it's only a third as strong as the real Shaggy. But yeah, throw this in if you want to go complete OP protagonist, or see if your defenses can take on real godlike opponents. Make sure to save before doing that though. So, I like to think Rimworld has a lot of balance to the gameplay, plenty of limitations that let you get good but not game breaking. But screw it, let's break some limits. Unlimited Reborn lets you shatter those limits. Harvest limits, gone. Armor limits, gone. Animal, tame, chance, gone. Tame all the animals. Seriously though, this is a great base for OP mods that boost stats, helps actually benefit from them, and given the option, lets you pick and choose what you actually want to limit break. Well, yeah, that's nice though. We need one more mod to really make this awesome. Endless Growth will let you break the boundary of skills from just a measly 20 to who knows how high. Combo that with Unlimited Reborn, and you will have pawns harvesting so much rice, it actually could be a problem, I hate to admit. It might be a problem. Yeah, this one could be a double-edged sword in some cases, but for combat, imagine the sniping swordplay. It's gonna be sick. Bren, my writer, is a big fan of RPGs, so he is no stranger to the grind, leveling up stats to become super overpowered. Now your pawns can do the same with the RPG style level up mod. Yes, indeed, on top of normal skill leveling, you can level up pawns' RPG stats with all your favorites: strength for melee damage, carrying capacity, and mining construction. Plant work and smoothing speed, dexterity, melee hit chances, firearm accuracy, general labor speed, along with speed of working with tailoring, smithing, cooking, and drug making, agility, movement, hunting, stealth, dodging, and aim time reduction, constitution, damage reduction, immunity, gain speed, unskilled labor speed, and even a proper healing factor if you get above 200 constitution, intelligence, medical stuff, research speed, and drug making speed. Finally, charisma, negotiation, social impact, tame animal, chance, and training speed, along with animal yield levels and gathering speed. Balance them or focus on one with each pawn. It's up to you, but all of them can provide a helpful boost. Of course, if you want to actually get a bunch of pawns to do this, you need to recruit, but sometimes converting them is a bit too long. So let's follow the advice of one of the greatest American heroes, Teddy Roosevelt. Yes, speak softly and carry a big stick. Or in the case of T's conversion staff, wait, T.
I'm pitiful!
Okay, don't think Mr. T made this mod, but feel like if Mr. T came up to me with a big stick and told me to do something, I think I'd be listening to him. Maybe getting his autograph while I'm at it. So yeah, give a pawn one of these converting sticks and it boosts conversion power, and even ideal legend spread chance. Plus, you can pretend you are a follower of Saint Cuthbert from Greyhawk. If you know, you know. So, get to work getting your new followers to carry your burdens like a house Carl. Speaking of carrying things, you might notice if you play with mods that increase carrying capacity that it doesn't seem to actually work. Well, the reason is some behind the scenes mechanic, but thanks to Millie, you now have a way to increase your carry weight, sorta. See, this mod makes it so if your pawn goes below the normal 75 carry weight, like say to injuries or something can continue to carry that way, you will need other mods like fantasy carry option, 10 times carry weight, or mods that add genes or other races that carry more. Think of this as your base to making bigger progress, or just use a teleporter that works too. Of course, now with all that carry weight, you are gonna need a lot of resources to actually carry. Couple of ways to go about it. You could go and do it the legit way, or you can grow your own materials. Okay, so gonna make Mother Nature a bit annoyed and grow natural resources. We have the Resource Tree mod, which, as the name implies, lets you grow trees that provide your resources, including beer, because hey, a beer tree is so Rim-like. There are also VGP Garden Resources, which provides a slightly less OP level of material growing, as you don't grow the materials directly, rather smelt the harvested plants into your new metals. Takes a bit longer, but still a bit overpowered. Any one of these mods could help you keep up the need for materials. Now, this one is just funny. It's infinite meals. Yeah, you need at least 18 skill to cook these, but after you have one, when a pawn eats the meal, it appears by their feet. It's infinite food. I don't think I need to explain why this is broken, and also hilarious. I mean, it's basically infinite pizza, and I, for one, would kill for something like that. Of course, if you could have infinite of whatever food you love and crave, I know my writer would go for double bacon cheeseburgers. But what about you? Pick ahead. Let me know. For something a little more serious, though, we have a tool for repair hubs and repair beds. Repair hubs are mechanical devices that, within their radius, they repair whatever structures need fixing every few seconds. Small 6-tile radius ones are every 5, large every 10 with a 32 radius, though are markable. Those are makeable, but you can find Archotech ones that don't require power but have a 4 radius every 10 seconds. Repairing anything automatically is already a bit overpowered, but there is a more implants and repair belts. Both do small daily repairs each day, though better repair belt quality means they do the repair more often. Slap a repair hub implant in a pawn and they can delay the degradation of items fast. Of course, if you decide to go for repair bed, well, not only are your pawns sleeping in comfort, but so are their items. Using the repair shelf code of vanilla expanded furniture spacer module, these beds act as the highest tier spacer level beds, with the benefit of your apparel getting mended while sleeping. Sorry, weapons don't get repaired. They're a bit different. The better the bed, the less ticks between each repair. Combine both repair mods and your pawns theoretically will never need to replace their gear aside from upgrading to better stuff. Now, what about electronics? What with all of them wearing out and forcing you to waste components on fixing them, better electronics gives you, well, better electronics. No random breakdown or even random short circuits. No more power grids exploding like a Samsung smartphone. Well, except in the rain, still gonna go off if you put them outside in the elements. Don't need to explain why this is broken in OP, but for some who want to focus on other things, not a bad mod. Of course, there is always Fluffy's breakdown, well, the 1.6 fork as of writing. This one makes it so construction pawns have to go around and maintain machinery so they don't break down. A bit more balance for those who dislike random breakdowns but don't want them completely gone. For a supply of queen power, the amplified vanometric power cell is your choice. Literally a huge free energy, giving out 50,000 units of power.
But wait, there's more.
That's right, there's more. You can now craft these vanometric power cells. How much does it cost? Not a lot. Just 500 steel, 50 gold, 5 plasteel, and a wrong thing. And a single advanced component. So yeah, that's busted, go nuts. Fill a base with them and never worry about power issues ever again. For more Archotech goodness, the classic more Archotech garbage is right up there. Thankfully continued so you can actually play around with them. And boy howdy do you get a lot out of this mod. The main currency here is fragments, and you get that after researching into the Archotech bench and salvaging mechanoids in it. From there you can go further into research and continue to make pretty impressive stuff. Stuff like unbreakable walls. And no, I don't mean walls that are so strong they aren't easily destroyed. No, I mean literally they have no health. They aren't gonna be broken. You could make an entire wall made of the stuff and no one can get in. Well, unless they drop pod in, but besides the point. You also get access to medicine, superfood that you make compressing meats and veggies, even machines to summon mech raids or meteors. This is just stretching the surface though. Go deeper and deeper and you might find implants that might allow your pawns to be immortal. How? Well, rituals, time, and perhaps a bit of luck. Yeah, for defense, this is one of the perfect mods for that setting. Up walls that can't break mean you can make the perfect kill boxes or mazes, and all those other stuff is just icing. Can see why my writer loves using this. Few caveats though about them. Unbreakable walls, they don't help with storing anomalous stuff. No HP value means no value to suppress them. Now when it comes to Odyssey, when we wrote this, they are not airtight. However, it has changed, so now you can have an unbreakable grav ship, so go nuts. For even more Archotech OP fun, RPG Wanderer has a whole supply of very balanced stuff. Stuff like an Archotech blaster turret that will pull a magic trick and make your enemies and any pawn walking in the line of fire disappear. cargo holds that hold 1,000 stacks of items in a tile square, like some sort of hammer space. Even keeps them cold. A boostable GravCore power cell that has infinite power. Plus it looks cool. Coolers, heaters, and vents to do that job. Better than vanilla counterparts. Plus is more durable and good looking. Just be careful not to flash, fry, or freeze your colonists. A refinery that refines, cremates, and even powers. Yeah, it's vanometric, so it acts like a base cell, along with smelting and burning stuff. Oh, and turn waste packs into biofuel. Yeah, I might want this one for my Mechanitor playthroughs. Finally, paintable Archotech ship parts. The ship parts are OP and paintable, but what you might not also know is you can now paint normal ship parts. So you know what? This means pretty pink made marine ship. Yeah, these mods are OP, but at least they know what they are great for, the power fantasies, and I can't wait to see more from the Wanderer of RPGs. Ancient mech armor is the type of gear to grab when you want to go full Eggman and just have a full army. You know what they say, the more the merrier, and this helmet gives you plus 30 to your mech bandwidth. Oh wait, that's just the base ancient mech gear. The Archotech gives plus 125 robotic force full power, and get a load of this. The armor value on both variants is over 100, and each of them, so if you give this gear to any pawn, Mechanitor, or otherwise, you are going to have the equivalent of the Juggernaut. Your enemies better be ready to make an announcement that involves a surrender when they realize you could have one-man armies of robots coming their way. Just make sure before you make or obtain the armor via quests that they aren't snooping as usual. Very annoying. Alright, I think I got all these memes down. If you want a different kind of power armor, how about from the UNSC's lineup of Spartan armor with the Spartan Foundry? Warcraft. No, not a weird crossover between games. I'm talking about the Spartan Foundry Warcraft Continued mod that makes the normally purchase or quest-only armor pieces craftable. Given this is a high-tech armor with personal protective shields that don't prevent shooting out of, yeah, I feel like a lot of raiders might have some trouble dealing with you. Certainly stylish along with functional. Having fun making your Noble 6 or whatever Spartan team you want. Of course, if you are looking for an even older school set of power armor, Doom, the original FPS Space Marine, and of course, one of the toughest people to march into hell. And seriously, the armor, the gear, and that Slayer mark all can turn any pawn into one-man killing machine. So, Chicken Plucker provided that for us, giving us the ability to arm up like the Doom Slayer and go to town on anyone or anything coming out way. Oh yes, super shotties, assault rifles, charge guns, and of course, the big freaking gun are at your disposal. Great if any pesky neighbors won't leave you alone. Fun fact, the reason Doom Guy was on Mars in the first place was that he killed a superior officer who had told him to fire on civilians. Needless to say, he always was a bro. And that was before going into hell to avenge Daisy. Of course, no one is gonna stand around to shoot. They're gonna be running and gunning. Run and gun continued allows for on-the-go shooting and looting. Why is this mod here? Well, we were looking for game-breaking mods. Can't get any more game-breaking than a mod that literally goes against what the original gameplay was supposed to be. Yes, it's a little balanced. By having shooting on the move have reduced accuracy, but given you can kite people around, go death by 1,000 cuts kinda doesn't matter. It is one of the more balanced mods given your enemy can also do the same to you, so can't complain too much. Still kinda wish this was base game. Feels so right to be able to move around and shoot at the same time, like a John Wick movie. Yes, yes. Know what else this game wasn't designed around? A stun caster. What's a stun caster? Ever see JoJo's Bizarre Adventure? Yeah, it's Dio's The World, though, or The World. No. Actually, yes, technically, but no. Moving on from this nerd joke. Suncasting adds a new side casting tree, the Stuncaster, one where pawns can temporarily stop time. Sorta. Really, it's more paralyzing everyone but themselves for a few seconds. You can imagine how extremely useful this is, allowing to reposition in a fight, target key enemies, maybe just pause the game for a moment in the end game and see how fast Rimworld actually can be without all that stuff on screen. The best part, as pawns continue to use the stun cast, they adapt to it and become faster, even while they aren't using it. So you have more and more reason to keep using it and taking advantage of one of the most powerful abilities in anime. Just remember that you need to have an Archotech meditation focus to even access this. Given all the other mods we included, don't think that's a problem. On the subject of sidecasting, Sentinel has a ton of vanilla sidecast expanded paths to play around with. So much so we can't really delve too deep, but there are two I feel should be mentioned at the very least. First, the Mechanitor pathway. This lets you summon proper mechanical allies right from the Aether. Needless to say, saving you time and resources is a big deal. Sure, it's Minotaurs in the beginning, but then you get Scythers and Lancers to Pikemen and Centipedes to even friggin' War Queens and Apocrytons. That's on top of Psymech Link. Yes, it's an upgrade ability to enhance your bandwidth, so you can have even more mechs. Oh, and summon down mech turrets and mortars, just to help out. Nothing like an automated mortar to deal with the problems. Once you kill all your neighbors, why not let them rise up, like the living dead with the Dead Life tree. My favorite of the abilities in the Crimson Dead Life Storm that raises the corpses to fight for you. So neutral kill anything on sight, it's all for you. Yes, yes. Machines and undead, a match made in hell. I assume better move on. Of course, if you are looking for more terrifying Mechanoids to face, given you have some pretty OP stuff, how about downloading the Mechanoids Total Warfare mod? Think of this as a huge expansion to the Mechanoids content in Rimworld, providing new mechs, factions, tools, and weapons and bosses. Oh god, the bases. Seriously, you got stuff that wouldn't be out of place in a Metal Gear game. Though my writer recognizes the War Scorpion as looking like a mech from Pathfinder's Iron God campaign. So why am I being so vague about this mod? Well, we don't want to spoil too much. After all, for big mods like this, half the fun is discovery. However, I can lead you on the right path. You want to make an NCL Quantum Communications Council. This will permit you dialogue with the NCL hidden faction. From there, I recommend buckling in, more so if you play with the mod Storyteller. You will be rated by mechs, they will be coming, and perhaps you should ask for some help. I hear the NCL has some kit that could be helpful in a pinch. I would recommend making some of the new buildings, especially the laser PD turret. It can take out slow, heavy ordnance like mortars. Not so good for faster stuff, but trust me, you are gonna need it. Same with the Tesla beacon. The ability to fire an EMP at the cost of base power will be incredibly helpful. On that, you can count on. Personally, I feel like this is a successor to the original vanilla Mechanoids expanded, adding new mechs and gameplay to the base game through difficulty versus base game. Oh yeah, it's an overpowered time. But hey, that's what the Space Marines are for. But guess what? That's not the only Mechanoids you gotta watch out for. The GlitterWorld Destroyer mod also provides their own set of Mechanoid menaces that will malice your men. This mod has a story with you siding with the Mechanoids, or a mysterious mech in the black being hunted by the Hive. Up to you which side to take. Both are gonna be tough and will both reward you with resources, new gear, and of course, sweet new mechs. Why am I being vague? Because I'm getting deja vu. Only this time, even this mod is a bit more sneaky with what it can provide. The mod itself warns you to have some unfair mods to play through this, so you have been warned. Given the mechs they do share have some good stats and abilities, and they even buff the vanilla Mechanoids to even make them a challenge. Do not throw this in without knowing that one especially. This mod also comes with a mech add-on that provides more opponents and a mech fuser mod that lets you learn how to fuse mechs together in a game-breaking abomination. I always wanted a War Queen who can summon little homies armed with Hellfire cannons, and now I got my wish. To actually learn how to fuse, you have to earn points by having Mechanoids in your colony each day. The more complex, the more points. So this mod could be great for Mechanitors. I, for one, might be tempted for that later for the Super Mechs in a Let's Play video. Oh yes, it's gonna be a good one. Of course, for simple OP fun, the Apply named OP generator and rifle are here for you. Simple generator for that can be made for 10,000 power right at batteries, and the assault rifle is basically a quick shooting rifle that can and will cause problems if the enemy spawns with them, and they can have fun. Seriously, sometimes you want to go back to basics, and a super overpowered gun that isn't even retextured can be a fun time, till again the enemies get them. For a gun that lives up to its name, the Obliterator, a rifle that deals minimal damage but is 100% guaranteed to destroy a random body part of whatever poor soul you hit. Needless to say, The faster your pawns can shoot, the more likely your opponents will be disarmed. I also feel like evil doctors would want this for eliminating their platypus problems. Yes, Doofenshmirtz. For eliminating other problems, try Kenji's Ultra Blitz. Given the footage you are seeing on screen, I think you know why. It's cheap and easy to make, and completely tears apart anyone who you think should go see whatever their deity of choice is. Guess in this case, Cheat Gun Go Burr. For a mod to make any weapon potentially the deity killer 9001, the Infinite Reinforce mod provides just that, letting you take any item to the reinforce and whatever material it's made of, and boom, work to reinforce and enhance. If you could turn any weapon or item into a god-killing weapon, what would you pick? My writer would choose a fork. Why? So he can say with no irony, I will fork you to death. This mod is great, though keep in mind the more you infuse, the more likely it will backfire and damage and maybe destroy your item. So keep that little bit in mind, at least if you go ruin hunting, and you might find an ancient reinforcer and nanites. Set it up and load it with Mechanite. You have a far better rate of reinforcing, but what about the landscape? Can fix them up with buildable terrain. Think about it. All the rich soil you can plant on, all the slowed ground for your opponent to have to crawl on as they are taken out by your defenses, or just make a moat. Actually, that's an awesome idea. Make a huge moat around your base and have the only way for your enemies to get to you. Could be good for a playthrough. A nice safety island. If you want some good pets, the Thrumbos are good choices. Well, if you get the Thrumbo extension mods. Without these mods, I consider Thrumbos as pretty low tier animals, mostly due to the amount they eat. Though if you could get one, they are so tanky and hit like a goat driving a truck. However, thanks to how much they eat, not to mention how hard it can be to tame them, it's usually not worth it. Now they are. The Thrumbo extensions for both regular and alpha Thrumbos make them far easier to tame and train with less wildness. They also give a nice wool to shear over time so you don't have to kill them to get good material. They also are far more friendly and will nuzzle pawns like a cat, but like a muffalo, make great pack animals. And males provide a musk that can be harvested and turned into a wearable talisman for pawns, while females provide a milk that when drank, well, pawns really love this stuff. Got milk? Yes. Yes, I do. These mods make the Thrumbo an S-class carrier animal for any colony. Now, expanded roofing might not seem like an overpowered mod, but it does something that really breaks the game. Allows you to tear down mountain roofing. Think about it. What's the biggest threat to mountain colonies? Insectoids. And if you get rid of the mountain roofing, well, that's one way to mitigate that bug problem. But that's just another useful thing with this mod. The transparent roofing lets you make hydroponics without needing solar light. Plus, it just looks nice all over the place in general. But the solar roofing, oh man, you get a lot of power from this one since, you got a lot of roofing space for those panels, and given you can also tweak how much power you get from them, at this point, you should figure out how much space should go to the batteries. Overpowered gaming certainly lives to its name, being an overpowered way to make overpowered gear and items in an overpowered method. Take a shot every time I say overpowered. Actually, don't. I care for your health. Unless it's water, then do that. Stay hydrated. So use this one. Get the OG reality bending research to get started. Electricity, hydroponics, and batteries provide more stuff to work with. But the first research gives you everything you need to actually do this. From there, make a mod table and make some unsayable matter. Use that to make whatever you want and go nuts. Now you know what's cool? Hunter drones. They make for good defensive lines. Look cool and easy to make and work with. Know what's not cool? Opening up a ruin and get blasted by a Roomba with a claymore on it. Know what's kinda cool? Being blown up by a Roomba with a nuke. More Hunter Drones is mod that lets you make and encounter Hunter Drones of different types like fire and EMP and of course anti-grain. However, you can make those of your own and even the Wasp drones if you want. Don't need to explain why using a nuke Roomba is not only overpowered, but I'm pretty sure breaks a convention somewhere. Also pretty sure having a turret that launches anti-grain warheads is also pretty much against the Geneva Conventions. But in your case, it's the Geneva Suggestions. ruins. But you can also do that with the buildable orbital cannons, letting you take those cannons you saw from Odyssey and you had to mask your ship from, and make some for your own defense and offense. All of them are great for just about any defense, though. Again, the anti-grain launcher is alone one of the most hilariously broken things I've seen, and it might be breaking you if it fires too close. It is a anti-grain warheads after all. Autocannons, beams, nukes, whatever you pick, I'm sure your enemies will hate you for it. So when you are going out into orbital ruins and buildings, you might stumble upon old life support units some people actually didn't notice how valuable they were, thinking since they couldn't deconstruct them, they must not be useful. Well, given they act as a heater, oxygen pump, and vanometric power cell almost 4 times over, maybe you should look back into them. That's right, life support units are very good, and even in the base game, have value, since you can set up power lines to them even if they aren't yours. But if you have the build and steal life support units, well, might go a little crazy. At least my colonists will have enough air to last a lifetime and then some. Plus, the power and heat is a nice bonus. Now my pawns live in style. This next mod isn't technically an OP mod, but at the same time, it is. Quality Power is a mod that makes it so generators have their own quality like all other furniture. Higher quality generators means a bit more power from the buildings, along with a bit of beauty. Why is this mod on this list? Simple. If you use this, you have the chance to be overpowered what you normally could. So this next mod, okay, I admit I'm not going to be able to give you a complete rundown, but I'll try to explain why it belongs here. Ascension. Immortal Cultivation is a mod that is a recreation of the cultivation theory of mind and body. To cultivate one's body and soul to become one with the universe and beyond. At least I think that's the gist of it. It's very popular in idle games mostly because that's the main gimmick. To grind and train oneself, potentially through generations of reincarnation and souls. Again, complicated, more so given this mod has a wiki. I knew the moment I saw this, and it had a wiki, I had to share it. From what I can tell and understand, you want ginseng to begin with and things that gather ki. It's pronounced chi, my bad. If you have royalty, anima trees are perfect. At least that's a foundation where you go from there. Well, given I know about Amazing Cultivation Simulator and how insane that can get, how crazy will it get here? Better nip this one in the bud. Yeah, it isn't an overpowered party without the Void faction. Just remember you can join them. Just gotta know the password. Don't ask me, I legit don't know. So if you excuse me, I think I'm gonna go double up on my locks and turrets. Thank you, patrons, for all your support and everything else you do for us. And we'll see you guys in the next video.